Hi everyone, I'm Rob Ladd. Thanks for tuning in for this edition of the Cavalier Sports Report. Last year, the women's basketball team celebrated a record-breaking season, setting new marks in the school history book for wins in a single season. They've also set their second-year head coach on pace to be the fastest to 50 wins. I'm joined now by the man. Ben Conrad is on the program. Coach Conrad, thanks for being with us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Well, you guys had a pretty successful season, and you're going to bring back a core of a pretty good team. Let's talk a little bit about the recruiting class that you're bringing in. Last year, you had what many would consider the best front court in the conference, and I noticed in your recruiting class, you're bringing in a lot of players with size. Let's talk about those players.
Well, I mean, yeah, we did have a pretty good front court, and I think what's interesting about that is honestly, you know, Taylor Bird wasn't even really what you'd call a traditional post player, a 4-5. Taylor's she's a 1, 2, or 3. Taylor can play point guard. She can play the 2, the 3 spot. But she's just smart enough and strong enough and tough enough to be able to play wherever you need her. So we had her at the 4 spot, and we ran our offense kind of a 4 out, 1 in. But she had to defend the other team's 4 every night, and just did a tremendous job. So yeah, from a productivity standpoint, from our starters, we did have a very good combination at the 4-5 with her and Liz Smith. But I think what we'd like to get to eventually, and I think what all really good programs at this level and higher have, is they've got a deep stable of maybe 4 or 5 kids that they can rotate through that 4-5 spot and just always have fresh bodies, big, strong, athletic, fresh bodies coming in and out to just kind of wear people down and pound people over 40 minutes. And it was something we felt like we really needed to address. We did. We got some good in-state size. A 6-foot kid out of Wamego, Tara Inglesby, is a really skilled post player. Good strength, can rebound it, can give you a good deep post up. We've got a 5'11" kid out of Topeka, Andrea Royne, who's just a really athletic, long 5'11" kid that can run and jump and just has tremendous upside. We've got a 6'1" kid out of Andover, Kylie Cooper, who's had multiple Division I offers. Real skilled post kid, can step out, play at the high post, play at the low post. We've got a kid coming from out of state, a 6'1" kid out of Detroit that we're really excited about. She's a very athletic, long post kid out of Denby High School in Detroit. We've got a big 6'1" kid out of Arkansas. So there's going to be some depth, and we're going, obviously, there's definitely, we've talked with the girl in Arkansas a little bit about the possibility of redshirting. But what you want, I think, if you look at any team that's won a national title on the women's side, they've got 4 or 5 kids at the 4-5 spot that they're playing on any given night. Now they're obviously playing different amounts of time. Liz Smith is an experienced kid that we're going to have on the floor a lot. But your post players are kind of like defensive linemen in football. You want fresh bodies if you can every snap. And so what we tell our bigs is get up and down, sprint the floor, post hard, offensive rebound. And as soon as you can't go that hard, pull on your jersey. We'll have another kid coming in. So we had some pretty good teams a few years back at DMAC that had 4 or 5 kids that were over 6'2", and we just rotated them in 2 in, 2 out. So we needed to get bigger, I think, to compete at the national level. And we did that, so we definitely will have a deep front court when we start the year.
Yeah, and that was something that I guess it surprised me, that you guys were getting so big on this roster. So let's talk a little bit about the guard spot now. You're going to move Taylor Bird back to the guard position. You mentioned she can play 1, 2, 3, and that was something she did with a lot of success in high school. You'll bring back Whitney Brown, your top reserve guard, and you're also going to bring in a recruit from Raytown South that I hear you think is one of the fastest guards you've ever recruited. Yeah,
Tanshell Hollingsworth is she's really, wait till you see her. I mean, you're not going to believe it. She's got great speed with the ball. She can shoot it. She's got real good vision. But we've got another point guard coming in from Lansing that we think is really good too. So 2 freshmen coming in. Becky Newhouse is back off an ACL surgery tear. So we'll have good competition there at that point guard spot to figure out who our point guards are going to be. But yeah, Tanshell's you'll be amazed when you see her. She's really fast. Just a little water bug, about 5 foot tall. So it's always good to have a player or 2 on the team that I get to look down on. I like that. So yeah, I think everybody will enjoy watching Tanshell.
Are there any moments where you maybe worry, I've brought in too much talent and you've got to find enough playing time, enough balls to go around for everybody on the roster?
No, that's never a concern. You know, you want. I think when you've got a basketball team, I think everybody in the country wants to have a lot of competition, and that's our job, is to try to put a roster together. You know, we get 15 spots in the Jayhawk. Okay, that's the Jayhawk rule. We get 15 spots, and I think every coach in the Jayhawk, if they can get it done, wants to have 15 people playing, wants to have 15 competitive players on the floor when they start in the fall. So no, that never worries me. And you know, the other thing is, somebody always gets hurt. You know, something always happens where somebody gets homesick and goes home, or it's not a great fit, or you know, another person gets hurt. I mean, you never start your season. If you start your year with 15, you're probably going to start your season with 11 or 12, and you know, the injuries, and you've got to have a lot of people ready to go. And then, like I said, competition is a really good thing. You don't want to have people comfortable feeling like, oh, I can just show up and I get on the floor. So I think, and no, don't worry about having too many players. You know, again, we want 15 kids to start. That's what we're going to start with, and it'll be competitive, and everybody has to earn a job.
There were a couple things that I noticed in these recruits that looked like almost all of them had this in common: good work ethic, and came from winning teams. And I know you want to establish, you know, a community or a culture of winning within your program. Talk about how important that is to you, because you run a pretty tough program. I've seen your practice and seen how you run these girls. It makes them tough. You know, you want the games or the practices to be tougher than the games. Talk about work ethic and winning.
Well, we do. We try hard to get kids that have won and kids that we know are gonna work hard. And you never know. I mean, this isn't an exact science. Recruiting is not a science. A lot of it, I don't care what anybody tells you, a lot of it is a little bit of a crapshoot coming in of you know, you hope you got the right kind of people. But we do our best to get good people that have been coached and pushed, and kids that want to work, that want to get better. And yeah, it's really helpful when you've got kids that have won and been in winning programs. And yeah, a lot of our kids have won a lot, whether it be in AAU or in their season, and I think that helps a lot. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to the culture in our program. And it comes down to our returners, our sophomores, understanding that culture, being bought into it, seeing how it works, and being able to teach that and communicate it to the new kids. Because the new kids coming in, I mean, I don't care where they come from. There's going to be an adjustment, and there's going to be some growing pains, and there's going to be a lot of learning, and there's just going to be a lot of things that have to happen to get everybody on the same page. And that's why we're so careful with our sophomores, making sure we've got the right kids back that have the right mental makeup. And I feel good about it. I think our sophomores understand what we try to do. They're bought into what we try to do, and now is the hard part. They've got to communicate that and be leaders and get the young kids to jump on board. You know, our sophomores this year were, you know, Chris and Mel and Katie were tremendous at that. They were just, you know, our freshmen came along, and by Christmas we had the entire team understood our culture, did things the way we want to do it, and that's where your sophomores come in.
Well, if you guys keep doing the things the way you're doing, you're no doubt going to have another successful season. Again, thanks for joining us this morning. I know you're a busy man, so we appreciate you scheduling us in.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate you guys having us.
Absolutely. Good luck next season.